One. I'm your host, Scott Seibert, aka Sibes. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Brian Feeney, aka Fiend. Fiend B.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, let's go. Let's get into it, Bryce. So, how you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I feel recovered from the member guest I had this past few days.
Oh, that's
So
right. That's right.
the liver's functioning again. I feel like, and yeah, it's a great weekend. Did not pan out the way that I was hoping that it would, but yeah, all in all, pretty good. How about
So,
you?
for our viewing audience, you had the Coatesville Country Club member guest, and you were the guest of a Mr. Timmy Kaufman.
Correct.
How is Mr. Kaufman? Two youngsters at home.
Yes, he's got two kids at home. It was his first foray as an actual playing member. He was an assistant at Coatesville for a number of years, and so he kind of knew how it ran, but didn't see the other fun side of it, I guess. And so we had a blast, but just not enough ham and egg to pull it out. We went up against a couple buzzsaws and some of the older wily veterans in our flight, and so at the end of it all, we wound up petering out.
So what's the member guest? You have a typical Thursday practice round and matches on Friday and Saturday. Walk me through it.
Yeah, so the ones that I've played in, they're typically have been the same. Where yes, you're right. It's a Thursday practice round. Some format have like a better ball partners or skins and different fun things to kind of keep you motivated. And potentially win some money if you're not having your best day, but maybe have a great hole. You could win some money that way. There are some skills games that they typically have. In the past, they've had like break the glass, like they had in I forget what was that golf channel show they had.
Yeah, the biggest break,
Biggest break. There you go. That would make sense.
the big break.
That was one of those. And some other skills games Thursday night, and then it turns into then flighted based upon total handicap, and you wind up playing head-to-head matches against other guys in your flight. There's 6 teams in each flight, and so Friday you play three 9-hole matches, and Saturday you play two 9-hole matches against the remaining guys. So whoever winds up with the most points at the end of all that is the flight winner, and then moves on to the playoff.
So give me the bad news. No heroics this year for Feeney and Kaufman. Where did we
No
finish
heroics as
in the
first
flight?
time teammates. I played in this a number of years with Tom Stout, another kind of old timer there. He's going to hate that I say that, but he's older than me, so I'm going to call him an old timer. And we had some pretty good luck. I think the 5 years that Tom and I played in it, we made the playoff 4 out of 5 years, and we actually won it one year. And so now Timmy's feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
We didn't have the instant chemistry that Tom and I had, and so I told him I may not decide to be his partner next
It,
year.
it
But
didn't have anything to do with you chunking, laying the sod over the ball.
are we talking about that already? Are we talking
Multiple.
about like the minutia of
I was just curious.
the seizures that I like to call my chipping game?
Yeah, it was just curious.
It's
So
funny. Go ahead.
give me some scores. Give me some of the 9-hole scores
So
for Brian
we
Feeney.
started out and won our first match 6-4. It was a tight one. We lost our second match and should not have. Both Timmy and I played terribly. And then the third match we won pretty handily to put ourselves in a position going into Saturday. And then Saturday, like I said, we had was definitely two wily veteran groups that we played against, and um, did not get it together. And in fact, actually, the last match that we played, the guys that beat us ultimately wound up winning the entire tournament. They sank 50-foot putts and 60-foot putts against
Wow.
us. So we just, like I said, it was a buzzsaw. And that's kind of what happens. I mean, you've played in tournaments before where guys are just en fuego. And I actually had a 39 as my score
Okay.
in that last match in the 9 holes, and that's pretty darn good for me. And we still wound up losing 6.5, 3.5. So
Okay.
it
All right.
was
39. Solid work by you. I've had some, my recent golf has been at Lulu Country Club. As those of you who know, Scotty Sibes is a struggling mid handicapper trying to get a little bit better. Anyone want to throw some bunker tips out there in the chat? I'm more than willing to listen to them. But I had my flighted club championship this past weekend. I played 2 matches. My first match against a great guy named Bashe Asterin. Sounds like he comes from old money. Not exactly sure his background, but
You guys, so you don't have communication? Are you like Rory and Bryson, where you're paired up together and you,
oh no,
you
we
know
we
each other?
were we were totally vibing. We were in the same cart. We had the music on. Our tea time was early, and we had the adult beverages rocking early.
So with the head to head, do you guys go out as a twosome or do you go out as a foursome and you just kind of
Good question. So the
get
way
the flow
Lulu
going?
works it is they have their flights broken down with 8 members per flight. So I'm in one of the middling flights, and they have on Saturday the 2 foursomes in the same flight tee off back to back, and Vache and I had our match, and I ended up having a pretty good match on Saturday. I ended up winning 5-4, and
Wow,
then
that's a strong beat down.
you know what? He got into a spot of bother on 12, the par three at Lulu there, the short par
Yeah.
three by the clubhouse there, hitting down. He
You don't want to mention that that's your hole in one hole?
well, I mean, I don't like to
Is that
puff
a
my
separate? That's a separate story. I'm sorry. I didn't want to
fill
interrupt. You
fill in
got
your
more to go.
we don't have enough time to talk about my 3 hole-in-ones on our first episode, but we'll talk about them as our
Well,
content
I'll
rolls
interject and say
out.
we can get it out of the way now. I have zero. Not surprisingly, if you've seen me play, but I have zero holes
It'll
in one to
happen.
date.
It'll happen for you. But Vache was a great guy, and he I took him down 5-4, and then on Sunday I had another great partner, Jonathan Cahill, who was playing with us as the other twosome on Saturday. He took down his guy, so then him and I played together against the winners from the previous Saturday. So then the four of us went out, and Jonathan and I had a battle. I went up on as a par five to start at Lulu number one, and I parred it, and I went one up, and then he birdied two, and then he took the lead. He was one up for much of the match, and then on 16, short par four, both of our balls came to rest on one of the hummocks out on the Donald
You
Ross
want to define for those that are
design. The
ignorant to
hummocks.
topography and in the land
It's
masses?
it's a big topography term for those in the know. A hummocks is a rounded mound, a rounded grassy mound that is part of the landscape.
Like a
And
knoll? Would you say it's a knoll?
I wouldn't. Nah, I wouldn't say it's a knoll.
Grassy knoll? No.
It could be misconstrued as a knoll, but a hummocks is a distinct feature in golf tech.
Good word, by the way. I've never heard of that word, but good word.
The hummocks. How would you think you would spell hummocks?
I would probably guess it would be HUMMOCKS.
I think that's your Council Rock education there paying off. Nice work, Mr. Feeney. Nice work.
Thanks.
So 16 is a downhill short par four, and we both ended up on the face of the hummock. So what I finally learned in my old age is that when you're on the upslope on some of these mounds, and I'm going to say it one more time, the hummocks, is that your shot has a tendency to go left, right? And for me, being a right-hander, you're a left-hander, so I don't know if it's a little different for you, but it has a tendency when I come down into the ball that it shoots left. So I lined up. He went first, and he went deep, and I went and I just lined up on the right side of the green, and it took it left and landed on the front left of the green. I two putted for par to go one up. And then on 17, I ended up parring and closed them out 2-1. So on Friday, I'm going for back-to-back flighted club championships. Since
so
we're
this
talking about
Yeah.
this is heavy. Last year, I got it done. There it is, right there.
You're so humble. You're so humble.
2024. Just sharing with the fans.
Is your name on there? I don't think you see a name on there.
I
Is
thought
that,
it was.
it's not that personalized then.
Two T's and Scott. Yeah, so that was a good time, and so we're here. We're our first podcast, Brian. We're here. We've been talking about this for a year. We've got all the equipment. We finally put it in motion, and we thought today would be a great day to launch our first podcast because it's open week, right? And why don't you tell?
Not
Why don't
this one that I was at,
Yeah.
but the one that you were at.
yeah, you got the Oakmont on, which you attended, which but 6 years ago, why don't you tell everyone what the lads did?
Yeah, so 6 years ago we had what many of us would probably argue was a trip of a lifetime. 8 of us went over to Ireland. Many years in planning, many different courses chosen. There's a lot of iterations of what the trip was going to turn out to be, and ultimately the 8 guys that went over had the time of our lives. Played some unbelievable courses, visited some unbelievable towns, met some great people. Probably
Yeah,
drank.
I'm going to fill in the gaps because I think it's important for everyone to know the wonderful courses that we played, right?
So
So,
I was going to get into those details. I was going to say culminating in us going to the Open and then get into the details, but I just was, it's like a teaser. I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
we got to work
Because
that
you
out. We
got
got to
me.
work that out. I feel like you stepped on my toes there. You gave me the mic and then you stepped on my toes. But go ahead. I feel
Yep.
like you're itching to give the details.
No, I like how you were setting the table and you were going to deliver the main course. Please do.
Well, so we'll do this together then. So book this trip through Fairways and Fun Days, which
Yeah,
was a
there's a
great.
plug for Fairways and Fun Days. You might
Yeah.
want to sponsor the next Philly podcast, Philly Offers podcast.
Tremendous to work with Phil O'Connor, good dude to work with, and we ad libbed when we got there. We had tons of energy, even though we got there on a red eye and landed about 6:30 in the morning. He had suggested early on not to play the golf that day, and we agreed with him until we got there. And so we ad libbed, and I don't remember the name of the course that he found for us.
Dundrum.
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 Dundrum. And that kind of let us know that this was going to be special because they spontaneously opened up the course to us. In fact, we were the first ones there, and the management staff cooked breakfast for us and actually ate with us. You remember that, Scotty?
I remember when we famished, got off of the bus, and we walked out, and there was a an elderly Irish woman who came out of the clubhouse, but it looked like kind of like an old mansion type of
The
building,
manor, an old manor house. Yeah.
an old manor house, and she's like, "Eggs and bacon, lads." I
By
was-
the way, terrible Irish accent, but fair. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm more Scottish than
Yes.
Irish, but
Um, and
what would your how would you
I'm not even going to try it.
no, okay.
It's not good. It's probably going to come out as Scottish as well.
So we sat around that long rectangular table, the only ones that, like you said, they opened the place up for us, and we feasted. And then the Irish called the interior. We played most of the courses along the coast of Ireland, and they called the interior courses the what?
I would say Parkland courses.
That's exactly correct. The Parkland courses. You spelled hummocks correctly. You got the Parkland courses. You're two for
I got
two.
like I said, the drunken weekend has passed us, and now I'm like actually I'm locked in
Yeah.
into what I want to say. So from there, we moved on to Kinsale in southwestern Ireland and played what I would say arguably is my favorite course in Old Head. So we started that beautiful course, and you've probably seen pictures of the coastline. You're pointing to something, but it may
The
be
hat, the old head hat. I don't know
they
if you can
have
see
a
it.
lighthouse in the background, red and white striped lighthouse, beautiful coastline, and we saw the jugs of Kinsale there, and
Yes, we did.
beautiful lassie who wanted to take some pictures with us. She was awesome, and just a phenomenal official first day of golfing at Old Head, and Scotty and I both had our best rounds there score wise.
Yeah, the best rounds of the week. It was what did we do? 7 rounds of golf, 8 rounds of golf. It was I think it's 7 rounds,
I
8 nights.
I think it was seven rounds of golf when we go through it, and we're not going to bore everybody with the minutiae
Yeah,
of every
yeah.
course, but
But
so
quickly, let's recap with
yeah,
put both our brains together. And not necessarily in this order, but from my recollection, we played
I'll give you
Old
the order.
Head,
Waterville.
Waterville, Tralee.
No,
That
I
no.
thought it was Ballybunion, Old, and Cashin first, and then Tralee.
So Ballybunion was before Tralee.
I believe.
Okay.
And again, it
So
doesn't matter.
so yeah, so let's just count. We had Old Head, Waterville, Ballybunion, Tralee. That's
Well,
the
Ballybunion
four.
was two. We played both.
So we're counting that as a round, a fifth round, and then we went up and we played the
Island.
island and Portmonic.
Correct.
So 7 rounds.
7 rounds. We
Okay.
added it. We added an eighth with Dundrum.
Oh, Dundrum. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it culminated with our Sunday trip up to Northern Ireland to see on Sunday, July 21st. I just happened to know that because I had a picture here. that I can show.
The seas
I
were angry that
I
day. I
I bel
remember that. It was nobody was getting out of there dry. It was a mess of rain. All right, so we got some pictures going up here.
so yeah,
Perfect.
we have
So
we
real
have
quick, I'm going to interject. It says Faulkner's Place on there. There's all different levels of tickets. If anybody's been to a golf event before, they have different VIP tents and different things like this. And our good friend Masters Dan,
yep.
who we've had a lot of golf experiences with, was able to hook us up with this Faulkner's Place tent, which was a VIP tent right on the first tee. And so that's us going into the
There's
tournament
Masters Dan right there in the middle.
as it
There's
should be.
Fiend Bean Sibes. We got Dan Doyle, Mike
John
Weller,
Doyle.
John Vaccaro, Jeff Nice, and Michael Quinn.
Yep.
All Philly golfers here. And then here's Faulkner. I got a shot of Faulkner's place. It was so wet that day, but here's the inside of Faulkner's place, where we had some tall pours
Some definite beverages flowing there.
and had a great time. What a
The only bad part of that was, like I said, VIP seating along the first tee, so we would have been able to see all of the golfers tee off, which would have been tremendous. However, due to some restrictions on how long coach drivers can drive, we had to take a break along the way, and we wound up missing all of the golfers teeing off. So we didn't see one golfer tee off the first tee. But
and
that did
really,
not
and
phase us.
really, I blame Masters Dan and Dan Doyle because we were pressing them to have a helicopter take us
Correct.
from Dublin up to Northern Ireland.
Right.
And
Which again, if you're titans of industry as they are, you would think they'd be a no-brainer. But
yeah, it
somehow
didn't,
the pockets got a little bit deep and their arms got short, and
it didn't
they blew
happen.
it. They blew it.
So you do remember who won the 2019 Open at
I
Royal
believe that
Port
was
Rush?
the local favorite, Shane Lowry.
Mr. Shane Lowry. We thought that Rory McIlroy at the time was going to show out, but he didn't even make the cut. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So he
Not a
didn't make
great-
the cut.
I think he choked it up a little bit. I think he put a little bit too much pressure on himself, wanting it so bad in his hometown, and it did not pan out for him. But I'll tell you, Shane earned it, particularly on that Sunday, because that was some really nasty weather. We got lucky when we were there almost for the entirety of our trip, except for a short spell on Ballybunion when we were teeing off. But on that Sunday at the Open, it was
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah, it was.
rough.
It really was. It was really rainy. So, which brings us to this year. So, 6 years removed. Kind of hard to believe it's been 6 years. Now we have.
Which,
The-
by the way, I'd have to do a deep dive on that to find out how do they determine the rotation of that, right? You have all these different courses on the British Open, we'll call it, for the rotation, and there's only so many that they allow or that they use.
Is there five? Maybe five.
No, there's definitely more than that. It just surprises me that Portrush has spun around back to getting it again 6 years later.
Yeah, I think that goes to show what a great event it was 6 years ago.
Sure.
They wanted
No
to,
doubt. No doubt.
because prior to, if you remember, it was 50 years
right.
prior to the
To my
2019.
point, like you wonder, how that gets determined. It's just more of a curiosity than anything. If you do know, throw
Hit
it in the
us.
chat.
Hit us in the comments if you do know the British Open, and there's also a different name for it. It's not just the rotation; they have like a funny name for it.
Rhoda. The Rhoda.
Is it Rhoda?
I think it's Rhoda.
Are you 3 for 3? I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna mark that
Rhoda,
down.
and then look it up. You can fact check that, but I'm fairly certain that's not fake news.
Rhoda-
What I'm
Rhoda.
doing is while we're talking about this year's event, I was going to jump right into my picks. There's a pool that
The Brownie Blue Gray pool that's become pretty famous here on the East Coast. For those of you watching, had about 400 participants for the U.S. Open pool at
my son,
Oakmont.
Jack Feeney finished second. He was in it He was in it to win it for a long time.
And who was his nemesis? Who let him down at the end? Who did not get free relief?
Shane Lowry, wasn't
Not
it?
Shea Lowry. No, he had in the 16th fairway, 15th fairway.
Oh yes.
Did not get
Was it Sam Burns?
did not get relief from like a completely drenched fairway. All
Right.
the water was pulling down. His practice swing, the water was going 12 feet up in the air. He called a second official over. The second official's like, "There's nothing I can do for you." It feels like Rob Thompson when he's managing the Phillies, just taking Wheeler out in the 6th inning of the World Series with a 1-0 lead against the Astros in Game
All right,
6.
listen.
But
uh,
I
for those
don't
that
want to get
don't
my
know,
Rob Thompson hate on the podcast too
we can
much.
talk about that at a different time. Right now,
Hit me up in the comments if you agree. Rob Thompson has to
can
go.
we use your first sound effect and drum roll this thing up? I have my picks.
All right, what do we got? We have a drum roll.
I
Drum
don't
roll,
know.
please.
You were messing around with some soundboard. I just thought maybe you'd have something. No.
I do have some. How about some applause for your picks?
Okay.
That
Fair
work?
enough.
Yeah.
So
All right.
this what is the blue and gray cup,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
Brownie's pool. You pick 6 golfers, and your top 4, your best 4 players' scores, go towards your total. And if the only shot you have to win it basically is if you have at least 4 golfers make the cut. Because if they don't, whoever doesn't make the cut, I believe, gets an 80 or the high score of the day or something like that. But in essence, you don't have Jello Man letting us know that Sam Burns was the guy who called it. So
Jello Man.
regardless, I took after again a deep dive and trying to figure out how I can get into the money on this one. I chose 6 non-Americans. Non-Americans.
Is that considered racist or?
I may be biased, anti-American.
Okay.
I'm definitely not. However, in this particular situation, I just felt like I was going with a couple hot hands and some other guys that I was willing to roll the dice on. So in no particular order.
Okay, who do you got?
I took Justin Rose, Wiley veteran.
Yeah.
He had a great finish to the Scottish Open. So I was looking at some recent events.
Justin Rose finished well in 2019. He was top 10.
Correct.
At
He's
Fort
got
Rush.
pretty good history at the Open.
Okay.
Rory McIlroy, I took the local favorite.
You gotta
The other
figure-
thing I should mention about this is that if you've been in these before, it's flighted. You pick from 6 different tiers based on rankings, and so somebody could not take Rory and Scotty Scheffler and Morikawa and every best player. It's all based upon the different.
Correct.
Rankings are based upon your
Correct.
it might be their world ranking. I'm not sure, but nonetheless. So to get back to it again, to get this done with, Justin Rose, Rory, Sepp Straka, big burly golfer, had a pretty good year. I think didn't he win the Truist in Philly cricket
He
this
did.
year?
He
Right?
did. He did win the Philly. He was head to head with Lowry.
Right. There you go. Thomas Dietrich, who I think has been playing really well. I think he's under the radar. May do
Popular
yeah.
pick.
Harry Hall. Don't know anything about him.
He's
But-
a sturdy fellow like yourself. I think that's a good pick.
Okay, and then Tom McGibbon, who has been pretty good as of late. McGibbon. It's a pretty cool sounding name too. So
McGibbon.
again, half tongue in cheek with the deep dive because I don't tend to, with so many golfers in it, you just never know who's going to thrive in a particular
All
tournament.
right, let's go head to head. I'm going to reveal my picks now to
Okay.
the Philly golfers fan base. And so Rory McIlroy is in your tier number 1. He's your tier 1 pick.
Correct.
And my tier 1 pick, I'm going with Scotty Scheffler. Scotty
I
Scheffler.
was back and forth on the two of those.
Scotty Scheffler is going to win the Open. Scotty
Wow.
Scheffler
Bold
is coming out. He's winning the
Now,
Open.
any of you watching know Scotty
So-
Seibert a little bit would know that there's a reason why he's even going so far as to say Scheffler's going to win the thing because he's going to put some outside money on him.
Some
Quite a
ducats
bit.
on Scheffler. Usually, I don't like betting on favorites, but I feel very strong that he's fully recovered from his wine industry, his wine injury, not industry.
Oh boy. Here we go.
My tier 2 pick, Liv Phenom, has won about 4 or 5 events this year. Joaquin Neiman is a breakout candidate if I've ever seen one. If you have money to spare, a top 10 for Joaquin Neiman is
Wait,
a lock.
Are we like now the betting guys and we're
A
like
lot.
giving
We're-
out? some,
we're
like,
not the
free
betting guys,
information?
but you get a little bit of everything from this podcast, right?
Yeah,
You get
exactly.
local golf, you get national golf, and you get some betting odds. So Joaquin Neiman is a lock for a top 10.
Okay.
I also concur Justin Rose is a solid pick in tier 3. You can't pass up the value of Justin Rose in tier 3. I also have another live player here. So you went anti-American. You went anti-American. I went like anti.
Can we just change it to? I went international.
You're more inclusive. You're more inclusive than
I would prefer international flavor.
So I got Patrick Reed. I think Patrick Reed's going to show out. I think Patrick Reed's going to show out at Port Rush.
Polarizing choice.
Portrush has a lot of like tricky little pitch shots, and I think Patrick Reed's short game, getting up and down from like weird spots.
Is that
I think
because he's gonna somehow improve his lie a little bit in different
it
ways?
could,
Get a little bit-
absolutely. I mean, hey, it absolutely could be. I mean,
All
I don't.
alleged. It's all people have their opinion of Patrick Reed.
I definitely don't agree with his like some of the stories I've heard about him and the way he treated his family and parents. You know, do not like, but
Does
I'm
not
not
impact
judging.
does not impact your ability to bet the guy.
Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm not judging Patrick Reed. He seems like he has the hands to get it done. Okay. All right. Another guy who is under the radar, strong player. Strong player. This guy, you might not even know him, Feeney. I don't even know if I can pronounce his name properly. You may not have heard him. Aaron Ra. You know Aaron Ra?
Is it Ra or Rye? I
Not
know
to
the
be
name. He's had a good season on the PGA Tour.
not to be confused with the staff of Ra. Aaron Ra.
Isn't it RAI?
RAI. Now how
Isn't
are
it
you gonna
Rye?
what do you want to how do you want to pronounce it?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking like Thai, THAI, like Thai food.
Thai. So you go rye?
Yeah.
Or is it like lay, like LAI, like you're in Hawaii for a lay? Is it Ray?
Again, we're not the smartest guys in the world, so
Yeah. Somebody
do-
help us out.
I
In the
am-
comments.
I am
Aaron
familiar.
Aaron Ra or Aaron Rye?
Don't know it.
All right. But I like him. I like him.
Okay.
My last one, who could win the Open. He could beat Scotty Scheffler. He could
Anybody
be in the
could.
final group.
Okay.
Andrew Novak. Andrew Novak. He came close in Harbor Town. He's going to be very close at Portrush.
I would go the contrary there, but again,
Who was your last who was your bottom tier?
I thought it was Harry Hall. I don't when they give you the confirmations, they just give you the list because they had Rory listed third. It could it's either I would say it's probably Harry Hall or Tom McGibbon are my fifth
All
and
right.
sixth.
Let's take a look at some of these betting odds and take a look and see what we think here. So clearly Scheffler and McIlroy are at the top of the. I don't like John Rahm. I mean, what are your thoughts on John Rahm as a short backswing comrade?
As somebody who's compared to a John Rahm, but with a shorter backswing, I like his game. I mean, he's just the ultimate competitor. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and that may get him in trouble sometimes, just being a little bit too emotional. He just had a really good tournament. They had the Live Tour hosted in Spain, the most recent tournament, and he was in it to win it to the end, but just couldn't pull it out. Taylor Gooch wound up finishing strong and getting ahead by one and holding on, but Rahm was grinding and giving him all he had. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, I can tell you're talking about him for way too long. I felt like right away it's like there's no shot. But you're thinking top 10, top 10 possibility?
I think he could be. It's either top 10 or just falls by the wayside because he's too pissed off.
You hear a lot of talk about this as I look a little further down the list. You know, someone who we didn't mention who is absolutely due to break out. Everybody loves him. Ludwig Aubert. Everybody loves this kid. And how can you not? His swing, he's like a young Adam Scott a little bit to me. He just technically looks good.
I think he's got a lot more length. He's got a lot more power, I believe.
And he's relaxed. He's having a good time out there. I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. When I look at the top 10, I'm rooting for, Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood finished in second place in 2019 to Lowry. Do you remember we talked about an Irishman beating an Englishman in Northern Ireland?
Correct.
The irony of that happening.
I'd like to see Hovland have a good week. And looking at these, as you go a little bit further down, Victor Hovland's a likable guy. He had a good tournament in the Scottish Open, played pretty well there, which hopefully translates.
Yeah, he's gone through like a swing change and stuff. He won at Innisbrook. You played down at Innisbrook where he won, right?
I've never played Innisbrook.
I thought you were down there.
No.
And everybody loves Robert McIntyre.
He won the Scottish last year, but I haven't heard much of him this year. And again, it may be because he's more of a DP Tour guy rather than playing too much. I don't know how many tournaments he's played on the PGA Tour this year. But
so what would you say out of this middling group? Who do you like between like Fleetwood down to Sepp Straka and Joaquin Neiman. Like if
I mean, obviously you got to go with Lowry as a fan
Lowry,
favorite. Obear, Terrell Hatton's such a hothead, but I find that more and more likable the more I see him have his little blowups. Um, other than yelling, do you remember at the Open at Oakmont when he said he had a bad break when he put it in the bunker on 17 and then
yeah,
like snapped at a reporter who
yeah.
questioned him on what the bad break was? But nonetheless, I mean that's just you take what you get with Hatton, but he's pretty good. I don't believe much in Morikawa. I just think that he's just not got it all together. I like Matt Fitzpatrick. I think he's a grinder that just kind of like stays under the radar. But at 40 to 1, I'd throw a couple shekels on him. Um, I don't put as much down as you do, but throw maybe a top 20 in there, top 10 even
Don't
on Matt
sleep on
Fitzpatrick.
Tom Kim. We have Jello Man 94 chiming in again.
Loves Tom Kim. Jello Man loves Tom Kim.
Yeah, Tom Kim. I mean, what has he done? He said second in the U.S. Open. All right, Jello Man, second in the U.S. Open. Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you on that.
All right. I
All
mean,
right.
again, that kid is such a likable kid. You know, what I mean, he doesn't look like a true athlete. If you look at him, he looks stocky compared to most of the golfers who are long and lean and
Where is
wiry.
Tom Kim? I can't even. Let's go down and see
Tom
where.
Kim's got to be down. He's not had a
There's
really
Sewu Kim. I like
consistent.
Sewu Kim. Tom Kim, 150 to 1. So a top, so Jello Man, would you say a top 10 is 800 to, yeah, a top 10 for plus 800? Huh,
It's not bad
not bad.
if you're a
So,
believer.
so Cam Smith's really fallen off. I mean, he's really just been enjoying his like fishing boat and his life down in Florida since his last Open win.
Yeah, it's
Um,
surprising that
Tom McGibbon. Tom, here's your boy.
yeah. Say
Has anyone ever heard of Tom McGibbon before? I can honestly say, are we gonna have a picture of him? No, not even a not nothing of him.
there is maybe he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to Tom Kim, again, really likable guy. Maybe not as much fanfare as Obear. Obear really kind of blew up into the media as a darling in the last year or two. But Tom Kim has had some strong tournament finishes, and I'd pull for him.
Yeah, so a lot of good options, a lot of good options out there. I think it's going to be. I would love to see a battle between Scheffler and Rory on Sunday. I think most of the golfing world would love to see the top two golfers going at it. Maybe throwing a live golfer like Joaquin Neiman in there to have a shot.
Because you already bet on
Um,
it.
well, I mean, I just think that these guys. I see it. You see these young guys that are like tall and like Bear
Yeah.
and Neiman, the way they can hit the ball.
Well, I mean,
It's
the
pretty
problem the
amazing.
problem with looking at a guy like Neiman is with all of those live guys, we don't see him enough, right? Unless you're watching FS1. I actually happened to watch the tournament in Spain because I think the timing of when the Scottish Open was on, I was able to watch some of that tournament, and it's I don't know the level of competition. I don't. I'm sure everybody's got feelings about the Live Tour in general, but DeChambeau was in it to win it at the Masters, and then really fell off in the fourth round. So there's a lot of likable guys on the Live Tour. So we'll see how they pan out. Like you said, you like Patrick Reed this week. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the live. That's a whole podcast discussion, right? We could have a whole
Oh,
podcast
absolutely.
discussion on like how we feel about live. It's just unfortunate for golf fans, how you said we don't have the exposure to having everyone together in one field.
Yeah, I
it's
saw a
it.
clip. I saw a clip from this week at the Open, like practice round kind of stuff, or on the range, and it was a neat dynamic to see a bunch of the live guys interacting in such a friendly way with a lot of the regular DP World and PGA guys. Um, I think a lot of the animosity is from. I feel like it's blown up a little bit from the media. Certainly, there's some members of the tour that feel so strongly, but it would be nice in a better world to see them back together in some fashion. But like you said, that's a whole other podcast talking
Yeah.
about the dynamic of that.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the first round tee times, and then we'll say goodbye to our fans here. So I have some marquee some marquee matchups here. If I can click this.
Still working out the kinks, guys. First podcast.
First podcast, you guys. I feel like it's gone pretty well. Give us a follow, right? At Philly Golfers. We're going to be bringing you some clips from. We're heading to Kiawah Island next month. Yeah, Fiend Bean and Sibes are going to be playing the Ocean Course. We're going to be playing the River Club. We're going to be playing Osprey Point. Masters Dan lives down there. We'll maybe have him on. I'm playing Philadelphia cricket next month with my good friend, and I'll bring you some rounds from Lulu. We are gonna have some guests.
I'll be down at St. Kitts. They have I don't know much about the golf courses there, but I'm playing at the Marriott course there. I think the Four Seasons is in Nevis. Is it Nevis or Nevis?
See, another good question. Tell us in the chat. Yeah. Tell us in the comments, you guys. We don't.
So yeah, a little bit of golfing coming up that we'll share with you as far as. What we have on tap coming up, and talk obviously about how the British Open turns out as far as who wound up winning it, what was compelling about it, and different things like that. First podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, give us a follow. Sibes is going to put out when we have our next podcast date and time, and hopefully you'll enjoy the content that we have. All right, you guys have a great night, and go Joaquin Niemann, I guess.